Hey, everybody, it's the coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a terrific matchup on tap between the Baltimore Ravens and the Washington Redskins. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
We are just inside the Beltway, about 10 miles east of the Capitol Dome as we come to you from FedEx Field here in Landover. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Baltimore Ravens and the Washington Redskins. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Redskin team as they interplay here. They coming off their very first loss of the year, suffered a week ago.
Yeah, it will not be a perfect season, but I'm interested to see how they bounce back now that they know that chasing the 1972 Dolphins is out the window.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Ravens, they've come in on a nice run of recent form, 4 wins out of 5.
And last week they put together a 3-touchdown victory and were never challenged in that game. Let's see if they have a little bit of a letdown here.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So out comes the Redskins offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by the #1 overall selection back in 2005 out of the University of Utah. It's Alex Smith.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the 1 interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets, and bottom line, how do they get a win?
Smith and the Redskins will come up now 1st and 10. Darius Geis, his first carry of the game. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. On 2nd down, here's Smith. It's brought in by Jamison Crowder. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say...
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Willie Henry in there to bury him for a loss of 11. Well, these sacks are really piling up. Last week, it was a half-dozen sacks. And here's one on the opening drive.
And it has the potential to be what we call a gap, a game-altering play. Because, let's face it, you just mentioned 6 sacks last week. Now, if you're on offense and you saw that on tape, you've got to think to yourself, maybe I bring people in, keep them in, and try and protect my quarterback. It didn't work on that play.
No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. And here a look at the offensive starters for the Redskins.
Jordan Reed is one of the best route-running tight ends in the NFL, and it shouldn't be an accident because at one point he was a college quarterback. So at times when he runs routes downfield, I think he's doing it with quarterback eyes and almost in a sense is imagining himself catching a pass from himself.
3rd and long, it's Smith. And he drops this off to Thompson, complete. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. Well, they'll get 15, but that won't be nearly enough. It's 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
So now the Ravens getting ready for their first go on offense. As we get a look at a guy who grew up in Florida, played his college ball, of course, in Louisville. It's the electric Lamar Jackson.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him to win. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Now it's Jackson. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. The numbers for him from a week ago. 4 catches, 109 yards, and a touchdown.
And he's able to pull that last pass in, but this is usually a pretty tough unit to try and maneuver against. They're in the top 10 in the league against the pass, and you and I both know there's not much difference between 1 and 10.
And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
Detroit!
On second down, here's Jackson. Over the middle, complete. That's Cole. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. And that'll get them to first down as they get 9 yards out of that quick slant.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
And they'll run it here. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. Second down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Dancing to his left. And oh, look at that. A diving catch. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down.
When you're a player of his stature, you don't just circle the games on your team's calendar. You
circle the Pro Bowl?
Without a doubt. That's a game that you just figure you're going to be in each and every year. And it's because of catches like that. That's why he goes.
Now let's go! 3-19! 3-19!
And on the ground they go to the running back. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space. A quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers point their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level.
If you make the stop there, maybe you hold them to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, second and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56, lucky 50.
Again on second and 10, it's Jackson. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Yeah, good game catching the ball in the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting is taking over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, because he can really impact this offense. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
Brandon, unless my eyes deceive me, I think they found a matchup that they're trying to exploit here, don't you? I mean, that's the second time they've gone to him here on this drive.
Yeah, opening drive. It's a tone setter, right? I think they're going to be looking his way a lot.
Yeah, and I think that the way things are going right now, they like him as a featured receiver. Let's see what kind of adjustments the defense is going to make to try and take that away. That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. He's going to get it running right. And the spin looked pretty, but more for style points as the real estate evaporated quickly there. Call it a gain of 2 as they're knocking on the door now. 3rd and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6. It's a 6-yard loss on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And the Ravens strike first at 3-zip. That drive just seemed to go for an eternity. I could kind of hear our sponsor saying, hey, we need to get our product pushed here. But then it ends in a field goal.
Yeah, how about that? Not enough time for product placement, but plenty of time to get 3 points out of the deal. I know that the guys on defense, though, they wanted to get those products out there. They wanted to stop that drive, just weren't able to do so.
A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
An unlucky number here. A loss of 13 on the play. And it'll make this a 2nd and long. Geis with a carry on 2nd down. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long. And here are the Raven defensive starters.
Linebackers still often control defenses, and C.J. Mosley does exactly that for his. A Pro Bowler 3 of his first 4 years. Not only can he run and hit, he diagnoses plays so well, feels them out, and makes sure his team is organized and in the right spot on each and every snap.
Smith now throwing on 3rd and long. That'll be caught right side by Reed. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, you know, just what they're going through, whether it's seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Bobby McCain here, the one who brings him down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Second quarter now. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis with you. It's the Ravens who have the football. They've got a 2nd and 9 to start things out. They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first.
Nice job there finding room to maneuver, and he worked his way into another first down. And look, they had great field position to start, but boy, they've done a nice job taking advantage of it.
Now they're just hoping to cap it off. They'll run it now out of the gun. He's able to work free for about 6 down to the 18.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
And now Jackson will look to throw it. Fighting to stay upright inside the 10. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route.
Blue 90. All right, now lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, now lucky.
From the gun, it's Jackson. Forced out to his left. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. As his guys are in for 6. And the Ravens will add on to their lead. And they use that height on the outside to get the score.
Seeing the evolution of the wide receivers, they've gotten taller and taller, but they've retained their quickness and their speed. It's a lethal combination.
Always good to have wide receivers with height. Tucker with the extra point, and the lead grows to 10-0. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Out comes the Redskin offense now as they get set to begin another possession. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum? I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
To throw on second down is Smith. Throwing for his running back, and he's got it complete. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Calling a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him blitz coming, and down he goes. C.J. Mosley not dropping into coverage. He comes on the blitz and takes him down for a loss of 9.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah, What's going on? It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know. Is a blind squirrel finding a nut, or is this something they can build on?
Well, they found some momentum. They found a crack in that offensive line, and they're putting it to good use.
Here's Smith now on second down. Crowder's got it over the middle. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Throwing on third and long. Smith. Throw left side complete. That's Richardson. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on third down. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guys get.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is second and long. On the handoff, it's Geis. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. The linebacker, C.J. Mosley, in on the stop.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter games turn into bigger runs later.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up fourth down. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Grant. First time that they've called his number tonight, and it gets him a first down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him, and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. A gain of 3, second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he'll work this one up to about the 38. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with third down coming up.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on run downs. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That'll make it fourth down after a loss of 1.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet. You're trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off? Or do they just have to go to a different play calling section and try and run some offense that way?
The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
To throw on second down, Smith. He finds Randall Cobb on the completion. And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a first down as well. On first down, this is Geis. And he is going to lose yardage here. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Here's Smith looking to throw on second down. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Richardson. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. That's good for a Redskin first down. Richardson on the reception from Smith. Now Smith. Sideline throw. It's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. From the 50, it's Smith. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
This defense not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. They came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Smith going to throw again. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
If you run an out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target. Incomplete. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10. Now Jackson on 1st down. Flushed out right. Room here to run. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. He can't avoid the pressure. Redskins get there. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this 1st half.
Detroit!
On 2nd down, Jackson. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's a perfect word for it, precise. Because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, not
hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Ryan Kerrigan able to get him down behind the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 4th down. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short, no good, and this score will stay right where it is.
And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over at the spot of the placement, so now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
The final shot here before break, Smith. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Ravens out in front. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando. That's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll start up in the Steel City, Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, where you see the final score there. T.Y. Hilton, well over 100 yards receiving with 3 touchdown catches. From there, we head down to Tennessee to check on the Titans at home in Nashville. And they were winners in that one as they take care of the visiting Chicago Bears. Dion Lewis, what a game. 3 touchdown runs in the victory. And finally, on Monday Night Football, they've got a good one lined up between the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. In the game you're watching, we've seen a strong first half out of Lamar Jackson.
Well, why don't we hold off on the halftime update after all? Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. Oh, and this is going to wind up a safety. And it's taken in at the 9. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Right back to him on first down. And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Throwing is Jackson, and incomplete.
That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes there's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
On 3rd and 1, Jackson buying time to his left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
So now we look at the Redskins offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back for the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out that's going to happen. But the first part worked to perfection. Did exactly what they wanted, and now their offense has to pay it off.
See if they can get the latter 50%. Bud Dupree, a former first-round pick, in on the stop.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
2 runs for a net gain of nothing. Now here's 3rd and 10. Throwing on 3rd down, Smith. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And down he'll go at the 25. Call it a 3-yard gain, and it'll be 4th down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
A terrific return there, 27 yards all told. And the Ravens, they'll take over. And now here come the Ravens. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. He'll get a couple yards on that one, and it'll be a 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Bringing him down there, Jonathan Allen.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. And that one results in 35 yards. Well, it's one thing to grab it with one hand, but when you make a catch of that distance, quite another.
Yes, sir. I mean, that one right there, we keep talking about the high-flying antics that we're seeing from receivers nowadays. Doesn't matter what spot they start in. But when it actually does happen in the heat of battle, brings me right out of my seat.
17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. They go play action here on first down. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. In for the score, and the Ravens will extend their lead. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route ordinarily is probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Play action. It's Smith. And Reed with it over the middle. Smith finding his big tight end Reed for a Redskins first. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Now a play fake here on first down. And he finds a man on a crossing route. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A good pick up there of 20 yards. So there on that play, offensively, they ran the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage. So as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play.
They stay on the ground. Geis again. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. And now the Raven defense going to call a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. The Redskins on third down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This will be 3rd and 6. Out of the gun, Smith. Looking for Crowder, and it's intercepted. Tyus Bowser with a pick, and the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the second half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting to drive.
And now that shutout still standing. You know that's something those defensive guys hold a lot of pride on, too.
No doubt about it. They're excited about where they are in this game. Nice job by that defensive front there to hold them to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. Off the play fake. Here's Jackson. On the crossing route, complete. It's Cole. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down. They were in zone defensively, went with a crossing route. It's always interesting to watch that chess match.
Yeah, and I think safeties don't mind crossing routes against zone because eventually you're going to run into their territory, and that's when they lick their chops in order to get the big hit or a play on the ball.
Offensively, nice execution to find a hole, make the catch.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on third down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one goes for 24 yards. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. To throw is Jackson. Looking left side of him, he's got a man. That's Cole. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. Give him 2 on that run, and they're still left looking at a 3rd and about 9 to go.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that.
The Ravens on third down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is 3rd and 9.
Hurry up, here we go. Boom,
Here's Jackson to throw. Escaping the pressure right. He's got the first down inside the 10. And all the way down to the 5. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And what can they do here on 2nd and goal? 3 red zone trips so far have yielded 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Play action. Now Jackson out to his left. And he rifles one incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
They'll give it to him up the middle, and he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. A great effort there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Ravens will add on to their lead. And certainly some credit there for that touchdown goes to the offensive line.
They never get the credit they deserve in the stat sheet, but they are the reason that they got the points. Excellent job up front, clearing the way for the score.
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Redskins offense now, they get set to take over here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know what, a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2.
First play of the drive. Let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
On second down, here's Smith. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive. Smith now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Now a first down throw. It's Smith. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19. Detroit. Detroit. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
After the interception, here's Jackson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Lucky 56.
Jackson now on 2nd and 10. He's got the hook up with Conley. And he's going to get this inside the 30. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. He's able to get 6. A nice pickup down to the 21.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters. No reason to lighten up now.
3-19. 3-19.
And they'll go on the ground. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard.
Well, partner, Marvin, our #1 stats guy, just handed me a little card that says he has 97 yards on the ground today. You think he's going to get the ball again?
I think so. 3 away from that century mark. Got to have it.
Yeah, and I think what they're going to call is one of his favorite runs, whatever he feels comfortable with, and what the offensive line has executed well today to try and get him over 100 yards. He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gone, gone. Gone, gone.
And now Jackson will look to throw it. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. As his guys are in for 6. And the Ravens add on.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know they're playing people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. The safety that time, Tony Jefferson there on the coverage.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. The Redskins on 3rd down. It's been a problem, just 1 for 7 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. From the gun, here's Smith. Jordan Reed has it. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because there should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
And his throw's going to be incomplete. The safety that time, Tony Jefferson there on the coverage. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Back to the air, Smith on second down. Throwing the out route and complete. It's Reed. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets them 6. Throwing again is Smith. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, C.J. Mosley. And they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? He's having to run with a running back or a tight end. In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
I know that every now and then we get in those meetings with coaches, and you almost want to roll your eyes when they talk about staying on schedule when they're moving the football. But would you say a 7-yard run is ahead of schedule?
4th quarter with a lead, you love that, don't you?
No doubt about it, because staying on schedule, trying to get 4 downs on first down, they did that plus 3.
They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. It leaves them with 3rd and just a yard.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Jackson looking to throw on 3rd. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down. Well, if you're going to pass on 3rd and 1, you better get a first down if you complete it. They completed it, but no gain.
The aiming point has to be beyond the first down marker where you throw the ball. 3rd and 1, you can't have anything that's even close to the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, you run the risk of what we just saw there, not getting the first down.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And in fact, we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. That'll go as a loss of 5. A false start backs them up 5, 1st and 15. A shotgun snap for Smith. He'll go over the middle to Reed, complete. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Here's Smith now on second down. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Coverage was excellent downfield. I think he was more throwing that football away than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely, because everywhere you looked, they were covered.
Sometimes it's better to go ahead and be convinced that there's no place to fit in the football than to go ahead and force it and turn it into a bad play.
The Redskins on third down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is third down and 12. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to get up here to the 26. It's a gain of 5, but it'll lead to a fourth down.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. And the Ravens taking the field. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good, but maybe, you've taught me this before, maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the offense that they know how rare it is to get a shutout. So take care of them, protect them, take care of the ball, move it downfield, run the clock down. You don't... want your defense to have to go on the field again the rest of the game. Reward them.
Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Now let's go!
And they'll run it here. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Washington territory. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Detroit! Detroit!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
Second and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
The storyline of this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column too.
So for the Ravens, the win moves them up to 5-2 now on the year. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Meanwhile, for Washington, they fall to defeat for the second time this season. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.